We're four friends who live across the globe
and share a love of Bon Appétit's YouTube channel.
So we came together to bring you our thoughts on what BA serves up.
And try our hands at recreating their dishes.
Welcome to Pod Appétit.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hey, it's Justine.
Hi, I'm LJ.
And it's me, Meg.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Pod Appétit, your favorite Bon Appétit fan cast. New tagline.
Yeah.
Aren't we the only one, or are there more now?
I have not checked. I have been declaring us the only one for a long time. There could be another one. If you're out there, let us know.
Yeah. I mean, does Bon Appétit's own food cast count as a fan cast? I don't think so. Can you be a fan of yourself? I mean, I'm a fan of myself.
Of the food cast. Speaking of letting us know, we would love it if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, letting us know what you think of the show, and we would happily read it at the end when we do our shout outs. So yeah, hit up Apple Podcasts, leave us your best 5-star review, include all your best BA jokes, and we will love it and appreciate it and read it right here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, carrying on with the show, we are going to talk about things that we have been cooking here when we're not recording or watching BA. Or not being sick. I feel like half of us have been sick.
Yeah. Not with coronavirus, thank goodness, that I know of.
As far as we
know.
Generally, you know. Meg, how are you doing? Have you been able to cook anything?
For once, no, I haven't. So I'm going to be brief. I was out of town for a few days for a family get-together, and then I had the aforementioned sickness, so I haven't really been cooking or eating much. That's me.
Job done.
Well, I'm happy to hear you're feeling better.
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
Yay. LJ, what about you?
I am on my basically baking bullshit. So even though I was sick last recap episode, I still kept baking. So yeah, if you don't check out our stories on Instagram, I've been storying everything that I'm making in the Basically Baking Challenge, which is a 10-week challenge. I believe they've just announced week 5, but I'm about to do week 4's recipe, which it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. Like every weekend I make something different. None of the recipes have been too challenging yet, but I think they're about to kick up a gear into level 2. Bear with me, it may start to get more disasters than successes, but yeah, I've made Sarah Jumpel's chocolate buckwheat salty cookies. I've made Molly Bars's Earl Grey tea cake, and I've made Sarah Jumpel's kind of focaccia with garlic butter kind of drizzle, I guess, on the top. And today I'm gonna, after we've recorded, I'm going to be doing Molly Bars's shortbread cookies. I think that's what they're called. They might be called something else.
Dulce de leche.
Dulce de leche. That's it. I was like, I have bought dulce de leche, so they must go in there somewhere. But yeah, they look really delicious. So I'm looking forward to eating those later. So yeah, basically hit up our Instagram stories for all of that because I've saved them all in highlights.
Which has been your favorite so far?
I think the cookies and the focaccia have been my favorite. I did like the Earl Grey tea loaf thing, but it was just a bit, I guess, plainer in terms of it's just like a loaf cake. Like it was easy to do and it was delicious, but it was like the focaccia. I'd never done focaccia before. I never really made bread before, so that was cool. And the cookies were absolutely amazing and delicious. But I've got high hopes for the shortbread today. So yeah, basically it's all good. And Sarah Jumpel specifically has been super active on social media, not just with us, but I'm sure everyone who's tagging her and stuff, because she's replying to me when I've been tagging her in the stories going, oh, I'm not sure if this is right. And she's been like, yeah, it looks good, don't worry, which has been really reassuring.
Yay, Sarah Jumpel.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think we could ask basically for a 14-day quarantine meal plan?
Yeah.
Right? We need that.
Or healthy-ish, either which way, I don't care. Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. Let's if they're not working on that, they should be.
Didn't Carla put together an article?
Did she?
She did,
Buy pasta and, dry beans. Like,
for her.
of course.
They're all about beans at the moment, aren't they? Beans is a hot topic.
Yeah, first 3 days will just be drink water if you can keep it down.
Oh boy, let's not talk. Ugh. Amanda, have you been able to cook anything since the last recording?
No, because since the last recording, I've gone into like 2 dress rehearsal tech weeks for 2 different shows. So I've barely been home at all. But I wanted to shout out a couple of local places in Columbus that I've gone to eat their food or had their food picked up. So literally right after we finished recording last time, my husband and I had a little, it was like one of the first days that it reached into the 50s. So we went and had a picnic in a park, and one of his friends is opening up a food truck called Angry Goose. And so he's doing like, he's making special food every Sunday, and it's very like Southern style soul food. And we both got some chicken tenders, and Jeremy got the collard greens, and I got mac and cheese, and it was delicious. And he makes his own hot sauce and everything too. So I highly recommend. I know there's a group on Facebook that people can join if you want to hear more about Angry Goose. And then last night I was working on a play, and the playwright came and did a talk back. And afterwards, we took him and his wife out to Condado's Tacos, which is a local taco place. There's several locations around Columbus, but they're absolutely delicious, and you get to kind of like make your own taco, and there's like a little sheet, and you like pick everything that you want, like what kind of taco shell and what fillings and everything like that.
Oh, cool.
And then you like mark how many tacos you want, what kinds you want, and then like hand it in, and they bring it back out to you like with your name and everything. So very, very delicious local places that if you're in, I don't know, Ohio in general, come check it out, or if you're traveling.
Nobody's traveling. No.
Oh my God, right? Coronavirus.
Oh boy. I was also in the dessert mood this weekend, and I made Chris's chocolate almond fridge fudge, which itself, the recipe is dairy free. So
Yummy.
I was down to make it. It's so good. It's made with almond butter and melted chocolate. So it's chocolatey, salty with like slivers of almonds on top. So good. I loved it. It was great. It was perfect. I recommend.
And avocado, you said?
Yeah, there is a secret half slice of avocado. So you know it's good for you. I mean, it's
Vegetables
chocolate,
do
but-
not equal good for you, Justine.
That's what my coworkers are like. Oh, I'll have some. You made it, so it must be like good for you because you're vegan. I'm like, there's a lot. Don't tell them. Just eat it. It's good.
Your pictures of it look amazing. Like I
know.
I seriously thought your picture was like the picture from the recipe at first. It was so amazing.
I love doing that now. I love like looking and see what they did and just like copying it.
Yeah, I like that too, although I'm less good at it because by the time I've made it, it's dark outside and I can never get, I'm like, do I get a light out and a lamp to like light this properly, or do I just not bother? So difficult.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing. And I get to be the snob this time. Be like, I made a BA recipe, even though it was super, super simple. Okay, now on with the show. We are going to recap some videos. On the menu for today's episode, we have Priya makes creamy Indian soup Kadhi from the test kitchen. Pastry chef attempts to make gourmet combos. Brad teaches you how to sharpen knives. It's alive. Every way to cook a hamburger, 42 methods. Carla makes 30-minute brick chicken from the test kitchen. Pro chef makes a meal with $10,000 plus caviar. And pro chefs review home cooking scenes from movies and TV. Test kitchen talks. Interesting batch.
They went a little easy on us this time. I think there were 3 days without videos, which was totally
So
fine by me.
weird.
3 glorious rest days for us.
I remember there were 2 days in a row and we were like, oh my God.
Yeah. We're like,
Oh my
what
God.
happened?
I like to think of it as their birthday gift to me.
Okay. But still, a good chunk of videos to review.
Yeah.
So we are going to get started with Priya makes creamy Indian soup curry from the test kitchen. What do you guys think?
Priya proves once again that, she's the nerd. Goat milking camp.
Goat milking camp.
This one time at goat milking camp.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of curry. I'd never heard of it before, but it sounds amazing, like something that you can really use up old ingredients in your fridge to do. And like this time of year when it's not spring yet, and like when you go to the farmer's market, it's all just kind of like root vegetables, and it gets a bit samey after like 3 months of that. There's not really stuff that's looking that great, like unlike in spring, summer, autumn when the farmer's market is really popping. I think it's a perfect dish for stuff to like use up stuff in your cupboard and it be kind of interesting and new flavors and feel comforting and warming. I just really like the idea of it. So yeah, I thought it looked delicious.
Yeah, it sounds good. The way she described the flavor profiles of being tangy and sour and, like you said, cozy. When she listed the ingredients, there wasn't really anything I disliked. I love cumin seeds, so it sounded pretty good to me.
Very interesting, though, to have that like very like liquidy base. It's like the yogurt and then water and then the chickpea flour. And then I was like, that's basically it, except for the spices.
Yeah, it's amazing how much work spices do.
I would be interested to try it with pakoras because it would add a little bit of texture.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think that like having it over rice was interesting because she was talking about the different proportions that different people do, like versus rice versus curry. And she was like, I have quite a lot of rice in mine, which is interesting because I was like, well, it's not really a soup then. It's just more like rice with a watery sauce, but fine, whatever you prefer.
I feel like she's gotta use the word soup even though it's not a soup, and I feel like I've even seen that in some of the comments of like, white people gotta call it soup, like
I think I've had similar types of dishes when I've had Indian food in restaurants or takeout before, where it's more like a sauce but with nothing like in it, and you just kind of have it on top of whatever else you're eating, and it just adds another kind of flavor and texture. I really liked the idea of it. I thought it was great, and I would definitely be interested in making it.
Yeah, and I like what she was saying, kind of what you were saying about like the different sort of flavor profiles. She was talking about when like the seeds were in the pan or versus the seeds when they were in the chunk, how they produce different flavors.
Yeah, me as a soup adverse human, I really liked the idea of it being more of a sauce on rice, honestly. Like, as I was watching this, like at the start, I was like, oh man, this might be the first soup that I've been intrigued by. And I was like, oh, well, because it's not really a soup. Like, I'm like, that's why I'm intrigued by it. For me, who hates soups in general, like I'm not into broths, I really liked this dish.
That's encouraging. I was expecting you to be like, no, get away, it's a soup. So I'm pleased. This could be your entry point into soups, Amanda. This is exciting.
Gateway soup.
As a soup lover, I'm keen to encourage you to try anything that's in the soup family as a way in. Like,
yes,
I
actually did eat a little bit of soup when I was sick. It was baked potato soup that my sister shared with me.
Oh, okay.
Aww.
Interesting.
So it was largely cheese, but
I think that's the key, though. Get Amanda when her defenses are down, and then you can get her to try stuff.
And add cheese.
Yeah, add cheese, obviously.
Add cheese.
I felt like the pop-up graphics in this video were very protective to show that her regional words and practices don't apply to all Indian regions.
Yeah.
Because of what has been happening in the comments. They're just like, this is this, but it's for this, and then it could be known as this. Like,
Yeah, that's interesting.
I noticed that as well, being a little bit more cautious maybe, or just more educational.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see another personality get in on this video because we saw Molly and Andy and I think Sola as well in the background, but no one ever came over to try the dish, which I think would have been nice.
Yeah, that's unusual. They
Yeah.
normally have at least someone come and try whatever they've made on a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to get a little banter.
Yeah.
Although her debate talk was insane. She doesn't necessarily need anyone to banter with.
Oh my God. I'm like, shouldn't debate also include being able to understand what the person is saying instead of just speed talking? But, you know, not a debate team, kid.
We don't have debate class or debate teams in the UK as much as you guys do. At high school, certainly. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things I only know from watching American movies. So it's just quite funny when it's like, oh, it is a real thing that happens. Okay.
Speak really quickly, club.
Now we are gonna go on to Claire. Pastry chef attempts to make gourmet combos. Now, LJ doesn't know what a combo is, of course.
No idea what these are. I'm not sure I think I'd like them.
So I have a funny story about me and combos because I've only had combos once ever, and that was in London. I think this must be a regional snack or something. So I was in Heathrow Airport, and I was looking for goldfish crackers because that's kind of my go-to travel snack. And I saw these things called combos, and I thought, I've never heard of these. This must be a British snack. And I got the cheddar cheese flavor. Did not like. I think that they're too dry and crumbly. Chris's reaction was kind of my reaction. Dusty, yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, when I saw when she eats the actual version, and I was looking at what it was and she was describing it, I was like, I don't think this is a snack I want to try. I'm not needing that in my life. But when she made her versions, I did like the look of those. Like, I would eat her wheel of combos for sure. They look so much better.
So they're one of my favorite snacks.
Oh, okay.
Snacks. I absolutely love them. And not this year because I had the flu, but many years they are my traditional Oscars night snack. I'll get like a large pack of combos and eat those throughout the Oscars.
What flavor?
My favorite is the basic, like the regular cracker with the cheddar cheese.
Okay.
Wow.
That's my favorite. I don't like the pizza. I don't like pretzel. Well, I don't like pretzels in general because, as my brother says, it's just salty burnt bread.
Salty burnt bread.
As opposed to
not burnt.
Soggy burnt bread.
Justine had asked me in our Slack channel, like, if I do the thing where I eat the cracker around and then the cheese in the middle. And yes, of course I do. Of course I eat it like a total weirdo.
That's just how we used to. I would say that's how we used to eat our food. I don't know if you still eat it that way.
Sometimes it depends on my mood.
Okay, guys, pizza is the best one. And
Is it?
End of story.
I think Nadia sounds like it would be the best one because I love Nadia. I was really excited when she added that in. I was like, that is a combo I would like to eat.
Yeah.
I did like the different flavor profiles that she was putting into it, like with the Calabrian chilies and all of that.
Yeah, she had fun making it gourmet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was definitely a good gourmet mix because it wasn't too much of a struggle for her, but she got to really make it gourmet. And the wheel of combos was just so much fun, really adding that
clever.
arts and crafts element.
I felt like she had a really relaxed, fun vibe throughout this episode. And I think part of that was because they filmed a lot of it around Christmas time because like she had to go to a holiday party later, so yeah, everyone's kind of feeling good and like a bit more relaxed and chill about stuff, so it felt like she was having a fun time at work. And then even when she came back in the new year, she seemed a bit more rested, so she didn't seem like super stressed throughout, which was nice. I liked it.
Everyone was playing with that wooden toy that we've seen a few times now.
Yeah.
That was so funny. What do you think they should have done about that baking soda solution that possibly could have killed them? Do you think they should have redone it?
That was so weird that they're like, I don't know if it's safe to eat. We're just going to serve everybody.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like,
God.
guys, That's a
I
bit
felt
scary.
bad for Rhoda.
I know, you have to inform someone about what they're eating. You can't just tell Rhoda mid-bite, you'll probably be okay. Shocked Pikachu face.
Little risky.
I guess it was basically like making a lye solution, sort of.
Yeah.
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 I would be wary. Chris was wary. He said, I'll try in a few days once everyone's had it. That would be me for sure.
Well, it's just the way that Claire was like, oh, I ate it for yesterday and I'm fine. And I'm like, sure, but you still have to let people know if it's something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By the way, I might be poisoning you.
Here's my theory. Maybe that's why we had less videos this time around, because everyone got sick from alkali. Things.
Maybe.
My theory is because Matt Ducker's been in LA again. What's he up to?
Oh, fair.
What's he up
Fair.
to?
Something sneaky.
He's
Something with
sneaking.
Maddie Mattinson.
Yeah, Brad, Maddie, Matt sneaking around LA. Who knows what they're up to?
Well, you could know if you stalked them like I asked you to.
Just quit my day job.
I think it's
Follow
for
the
the greater
Instagram trail.
Delaney posted somewhere that a video should be pastry chef attempts to make gourmet Ambien.
Yeah.
I did love that opening. He's like, aren't you supposed to have 8 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like, well, no wonder you're so messed up. You woke up too early.
Next, we're going to have Brad teaching us how to sharpen kitchen knives on It's Alive.
AKA, I will literally watch knives get sharp for Bradley N.A. from the BA Test Kitchen.
New hashtag.
I know we laughed at this when it came out and we saw the title and we were like, what? We're going to watch Brad sharpen knives for like 15 minutes. But I did actually find this video a weird mix, as with most It's Alive videos, of genuinely informative, but also I've got no idea what to do coming out of it.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, I learned a lot in that video because I had no idea, for example, that the steels that you get with your knife sets don't actually sharpen your knives. So that explanation for me was genuinely life-changing. Knife-changing and life-changing. So I know I need to get like sharpening stones and stuff, but I've got no idea what I'm looking for, and I don't know how to judge when you're supposed to move on to the next ones. Like, Brad's description, as ever, is like weirdly vague, and I'm like, okay, you've given me some really useful information, but not exactly put the pieces together so that I can actually do something with it.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll
But
have
it
to
was
be
funny.
like them and look up a how to sharpen knives video.
Yeah.
That's not
great.
going to tell me how to. All I've done is literally watch Brad sharpen some knives, which is great, but I can't like sharpen my own knives from that.
And apparently, according to the comments, those particular whetstones are hella expensive, like starting at $100 each.
Yeah.
Ooh. How much does it cost to just go to a place and they'll sharpen your knives for you?
Oh, yeah. At the farmer's market, there's always a knife sharpening check.
Yeah.
That's interesting because we've been talking a lot about upgrading our knife set and like really investing in some good knives, like one at a time over a period of time so that we're not like spending all our money on knives. But I think if you're going to invest in knives, you definitely need to invest in taking care of them. But I'm sure there are a range of different products on the market to do that depending on how much money you want to spend. So it's just like the stones are one option. I need to kind of understand what potentially other good options would be that aren't like steels.
But this is the thing where I'm like, if you're going to go get them sharpened, but if you're getting them sharpened by somebody enough, then invest in getting your own to save that cost of going out and getting it done.
For sure.
I need them to do the cost-benefit analysis, basically, for us, and then tell us what the right thing is to do.
Bring your calculator, Brad.
Well, at like towards the beginning of the video, when he was like pulling out the wood part, he was talking about like, oh, there's all sorts of different techniques. And so I thought he was like going to talk about some of the different techniques. But no, he was just getting the wood part out to put over the sink. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I the only other one I knew about was like the thing with your knife set. And then, I mean, like you said, LJ, that was informative that it's not actually sharpening, it's reshaping
Yeah.
the knife. like that kind of stuff where he was like talking about like the bevel and all of that. I thought that was really interesting. But as ever for me, I think in this, especially as listeners have heard, I did not know so much about knives going into this. I loved all of Hunzi's little like pop-ups about movies in particular.
Mhm.
Like when Brad was talking about cutting himself and then the Marriage Story thing popped up.
Yes.
So
That was
funny.
And True Grit.
Oh,
The
yes.
just giggled. And he goes, the movie.
And obviously Chris's Rambo was the best.
Oh my
That was
god.
so good.
Yes.
Oh, spoon, sun, knife rising.
Yes.
It's been the
Oh my
best
God, all
title
of-
ever.
All of the things of Chris walking back and forth with someone where
Yeah.
it was like walking tour.
VP
Museum
of walking
guide.
tours.
Yeah, like all of those things were so great.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Chris was the best in this It's Alive episode.
Yeah, I ended up enjoying this episode. I thought I would hate it because I think I've said on the podcast before, I hate the sound of sharpening knives. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. But now after watching this video, I think it might be the sound of a knife on that knife shaper, that rod.
Steel. Yeah.
That I hate. But watching this video, I actually found it kind of pleasant and soothing and sort of meditative the way that he was sharpening the knives.
And like the running
Yeah.
water as well. There was something quite,
For sure.
you know, zen about it.
It was like river rocks.
Yeah.
And even though
Yeah.
I totally agree that I did not actually learn how to sharpen knives from this video, it was nice to see that you could tell Brad knew what he was doing. He felt confident
Yeah.
and he felt expert in it. He wasn't just guessing. He just needs to take that extra step of actually translating his expertise into something the user can understand.
Yeah. It's just fun. I feel like it's so weird because I feel like all he needs is like maybe some coaching on how to like describe something. He's trying, but then you're like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I'm doing, Brad. I'm really sorry. But then I also feel like if he had coaching to do that, then he would lose so much of his like Bradliness.
That's true.
That it would
Yep.
be like, oh, it's not the same anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah, we
I don't know.
definitely come to It's Live for entertainment, not for
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was also glad that the arm hair shaving was kept to a minimum. I knew it was going to happen. It always happens in these
Yeah.
videos.
I loved Gabby being like, what are you doing?
That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
Yeah.
I love the sudden pan to Gabby with her bonkers costume.
She's like, what are you doing? And you turn, and she's got a bowl on her head. You're like, what is happening?
Carrying a pie plate, just grinning.
Classic
crazily.
Gabby.
I did not think Tin Man. I thought Devo when she first walked in with that.
Oh,
but-
definitely. Did any of you guys know before this video that Brad has his own woodworking company?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't
Think
either.
so.
Does that make it a sponsored video?
3-dot wood design. I don't mind plugging Brad's company.
Yeah.
But
This is a
also,
sponsored video.
he doesn't know how to plug his own company.
No.
Yeah, he kept saying it so quickly. I was like, what are you saying? But now knowing that, I really want to get Nick Offerman as a guest on It's Alive.
Oh,
do
that would
woodworking
be
together.
so good. I think that would
That
be
would-
an amazing
That would be epic.
combo. Yeah.
LJ, stop touching your face.
Sorry, I just really itchy. Yeah.
Coronavirus.
My hands are clean. I haven't been out.
Carla tweeted, never have my hands been so clean, but also never have my hands been so dry.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I Instagram storied something like that because I was on the train to work and I was like, my hands are like falling apart from the washing. Oh, yeah.
Up next, we've got every way to cook a hamburger, 42 methods. Okay, bring it on.
I mean, my heart always sinks when I see this series because I'm just not that interested. And I really wouldn't watch these videos if we didn't do this podcast. And I just think it's such a shame because I do like a meal. I just think they could do something more like interesting because like the format's really repetitive. The knowledge that I get for the amount of time invested is just like not a good return in my opinion. And the fake eating is really grating on me now. Like originally I was like, okay, it's kind of funny, but now it's like really overdone. And I feel like the comments are really reflecting that now. And occasionally he tries like an unusual way of cooking something that actually turns out to be surprisingly good, but it's usually so obscure that it's not, like, no matter how good it is, I'm not going to actually do anything different from the accepted good way of cooking it. So basically, this is not how I want to take my Emil content anymore. And let's think of something new for him to do, because I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
I would far prefer to see more of the 12 types of rice examined, or 12 types of eggs examined, because those are really interesting and we still get weird Emil content.
Yes. And yes, it is. I don't know. I just think there's a limit to which I can watch someone knowingly cook things badly. Like, I can't do that over and over again anymore.
Yeah. I was half watching this video while doing the dishes, and my vegan roommate walked in and she was just like, what the hell are you watching? Like,
it's a massacre.
No.
Oh, man.
The one thing I did learn / take away from this video was to try just seasoning the outside of the patties instead of seasoning the salt and mixing it in with the meat, which is how I've always seen it explained in recipes before.
So interestingly, I actually already knew that because I have the Bob's Burgers cookbook and it tells you to do that for that reason in that book. So that is why I know that. It just forms a far better, and you don't like lose the flavor. Because that went against my instinct. I was like, why is it telling me to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I thought you should season the meat throughout, but no, it's much better if you just season the outside. The other thing that I always think in these videos is when he puts the ingredient or whatever it is that he's trying to cook, like the raw meat or whatever, in a weird contraption that you shouldn't be really using to cook it, like a toaster. I'm like, who is cleaning that afterwards? That is all I can think about, because
I think that
it's like, is that toaster getting thrown away, or are they cleaning it? Like, what's happening, and whose job is that? Are they being paid enough? Like, oh man.
Whenever he does the iron stuff, I'm like, I never want to use an iron in a hotel room ever.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, was anybody like, I saw that and I was just like, why doesn't he just use a George Foreman? Or like,
I was waiting for the George Foreman to pop up, because that's how my grandma, as soon as she got a George Foreman grill, that is how she made burgers all the time. As I've said before, like, these don't bother me as much as I know they bother you, LJ, and I think it's just partially like I don't necessarily have all of that base knowledge, but I did feel like this one was a little overly long. And actually, one of the things, like, I love burgers, I do eat meat, but the fact that they were all medium rare and you could just see the blood everywhere was really off-putting to me in this one. Like,
yeah,
I like a good, just kind of medium burger. And then there were some where it looked more of like a medium or a medium well, and he would be like, oh, this is well done. And I'm like, well, no, it's not, because it actually still has pink in it. And I think maybe like his judgment on this is a little skewed, because if we've seen in some of the test kitchen talks, he likes raw meat. Like, he prefers things more on the raw rare side. And it just, like, I love a pink burger, but not where it's like the blood is dripping blood. I don't know. That's too much for me.
I like my burgers on the rare side. Like, I definitely side with Emil on that. Like, I would eat a tartare burger. That looked delicious. But blood-sogged bread is never going to look nice. Like, I'm not into it. I'm not into that either. And I like, as I say, I like my burgers on the rare side. So even I was like, ugh.
There was a lot of contention about this in the comments. It was almost 50-50, people saying these are way underdone, and everyone else saying these are exactly how burgers should be. I definitely like mine a touch more done than what Emil did, and totally agree. All of that protein juice sogging out the bun instantly. There's nothing worse than a soggy bun with a hamburger.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, I half watched this video.
Yeah, understandably.
Justine's watching it through her fingers.
Like a horror movie. They keep going on and on about smash burgers almost as much as they go on and on about tie-dye. But I feel like this was the video to finally convince me that I want to try a smash burger because it was slightly more done and it had the addition of onions, which looked really tasty.
I feel like that's kind of what like Five Guys burgers and fries kind of does the smash burger style.
Yeah.
Oh, do
What
they?
about the Juicy Lucy?
Ooh, that looked good.
That did look good.
It reminded me, okay, when you guys were kids, did you have the hot dogs with the cheese in the middle?
Yes.
No,
No.
we don't do that in the UK.
Yes. Oh my God. Every time we record, it's just revealed how Amanda and I grew up with the same exact trash food.
Yes.
And I'm always just like British face intensified.
All right, let's go on to something more palatable. Carla makes 30-minute brick chicken from the test kitchen. What do you think?
When she said, let's control the narrative and kept saying it was exactly 30 minutes, it was only 27 minutes, I was like, no, we don't need more fake news in this world, especially from Carla, who I love. It needs to stop. No fake news.
Alternative facts, Amanda.
I love this video. I could watch Carla teach me how to make anything, even if I already know how to make it. She is a joy and a treasure, and yeah, I loved it. I thought this recipe looked really nice. I really enjoyed that she gave a tutorial on how to spatchcock, because so many times you see in a recipe just like, oh, casually spatchcock a chicken, and you're just there like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to look up on YouTube how to spatchcock a chicken. I usually end up with I think there's a Gordon Ramsay video out there that I've used in the past, but now I'm going to be using this one because I much prefer watching Carla than Gordon Ramsay. But I thought this was a really clever idea, because brick chicken is like one of those things that you only really see in like restaurants, or at least in the UK. So clever to just use 2 cast irons to achieve the same result, and amazing to like, you can like roast a chicken in 30 minutes ish.
How long
Right?
does it take to regularly, what's the comparative time?
I usually, for a whole chicken, I usually, depending on the size of it, about an hour and 20, hour and 30.
Oh.
Gotcha.
So
Wow.
it's much, much quicker.
I really loved this video too. I think that this recipe looks great. It looks easy, even if it's slightly over the claimed 30 minutes. I learned a lot too. I would definitely try this. And I agree that spatchcocking is a word that should be repeated as often as possible.
Absolutely.
I also love that this came with pan sauce, which are some of my favorite words to have together, because I'm a real big sauce fan. Like, there's nothing worse than just dry food on a plate. You need sauce.
And I just love that they don't say something's too lemony. They just say it's very bright.
Yeah, you could tell that sauce was too lemony, but they wouldn't say it.
But I love that Chris, like, he became a meme of himself, of like grabbing the most giant spoon possible.
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, where are his little spoons? Why is he eating a big spoon?
His big stupid spoon.
That was amazing. He's like trolling us.
Yeah, it was funny. He's also only just found out about right-clicking on a Mac, which I was like, really? How long
bless
have you
him.
been using a Mac?
I could understand that.
No, but for real, I have to use Macs at work, and I need to know how to do this now. I was like,
Oh, Amanda.
how do I do this?
You tap 2 fingers at once.
2 fingers.
Yeah.
It-
We'll give you a tutorial after the
okay, because I have a mouth. Anyway, we'll come back to it. Anyway. Sorry for the listeners. I'm pretty sure my face just like paused and went to like the gif of like all of the math around
You
the
did.
person's head.
That's exactly what happened.
I really enjoyed Carla's musings on time. And what is time anyway?
I love Carla. Carla is such a good host.
Yeah.
I feel like she shows up. She doesn't need any direction. She's just like, hey guys, this is what we're doing. She's like, how much time do you need me to fill? Got it. Let's do it. You know, like-
Well, and once again, when something doesn't go exactly according to plan, she's like, well, this is what you do if that happens. Like, she just rolls with it.
She's
And I
not
love that.
ruffled. Yeah, she's like really unruffled. Nothing throws her.
Also, more confirmation that I am the Carla in the group at the end when she was talking about her dinner party. And if you show up on time, she's like, I'll just be getting out of the shower. And I was like, absolutely. I hosted a Christmas party one time where I had like a whole station for like make your own Christmas cookies. Like you could decorate it and everything. And I had a friend show up an hour early.
Well, that's unacceptable.
That's just rude. I'd say that's rude.
Are you doing? And I was like, I still have to shower because you want to make, like, for me, I like to make most of the food and then shower because you get all like sweaty from the making the food. Yeah,
food gross.
Standard. Yeah, for sure. I'm the same. You tell people a time for a dinner party. Nobody should be arriving on that time. Be it, like, who wants to be the first one at a party anyway? No one.
Right.
As much as I pride myself on being punctual, I absolutely will not show up early to a home dinner party. I've actually gone to a dinner party, arrived on time, and waited in my car for 10 minutes because I just wouldn't do it.
That is the respectful thing to do, Meg, and I am very, very happy for you.
Meg, professional dinner party goer.
I wish. Hunzi, put that as my title.
VP of dinner party going. The chicken really flew in.
It did really fly in.
I was like, did you see that chicken fly?
She was so pleased.
I want to do that with all my chickens from now on. Like when I'm making them, just be like, woo!
We need you to get Russ to film you with flying chickens.
Yes.
Flying chickens, yeah, that would be fun. Fun content.
Yeah.
And get in chickeny formation.
Static medium shot, and then you just enter the frame with your chicken.
I like the fact that we've got the technical details, which Russ will definitely understand because he works in video. So
Yes.
I'll just pass those on.
Okay, next up, we got a Molly video. Pro Chef makes a meal with $10,000 plus of caviar.
Wow. Did they change the name of this video? Because I wrote
did
it
change
down
the name of this
that
video.
was Pro Chef learns everything about caviar, but I guess that's not as clickbaity as 10 grand's worth of caviar or whatever it is.
Well,
yeah, I've been
sounds
noticing
right.
some more optimized titles lately, but it's odd that they changed them after they have already had a title in place.
I do wonder with this one, though, because learns everything about caviar also isn't what she does. Like, she learns a little bit about some caviar.
Because she didn't go to a farm and
Amanda
pick it out.
with the nitpicking. Did she learn every single thing about caviar? I think not.
Wow.
No.
Bringing
Fact
the
check.
fire.
I guess Molly enjoys the caviar buffet when it have gotten as many clicks.
True.
I am really jealous of Molly in this video because I absolutely love anything seafood, and caviar obviously is like not something that most people get to eat a lot of ever. For a seafood lover to get the opportunity to just eat as much caviar as they want in a day, I mean, the dream as far as I'm concerned. And then
I mean, like, do you get sick at that point?
No, none of your stomach's hardened for it. But it was interesting because the end of like her ultimate challenge, I was really like not sure where this video was going to end up, because I was thinking, well, what can you really do with caviar? Like, what's the end game here? Can you cook it? Surely it's just something you put on things as opposed to incorporate into something. But I guess, you know, I was still happy to see what Molly did with all the different things, because I would never have thought of a 7-layer dip that looked amazing. And at the end, they're like little extremely luxe office dinner party that they ended up having. I was like, what a day to come to work. And I must eat all of those things. They all looked so happy about the fact they just had this such over the top ostentatious meal.
Yes.
And I almost like didn't care that basically she just put the caviar on stuff, because I was like, this is a dream to see. So I loved this video. I thought it was really fun.
I know they already get so many comments about being snobby New York City food elites. So I thought it was pretty funny how many times Molly had to reassure the audience that, like, no, this is something unique and unusual and special for us. I promise that we're not just eating caviar every day.
And then Carla and Gabby also like, hey, we never eat this.
Yeah.
It was like the whole last 10 minutes.
Yeah, just trying to calm everyone down. I would love to have the chance to just have caviar on its own, because I have had caviar, but it's always been, a little tiny garnish on an amuse-bouche or something. I've never had just, here, a spoonful of caviar, taste this. So I would love that opportunity.
Not just taste this, Meg. Take as much as you want, which said no one ever about caviar.
Exactly.
LJ, you had a game you wanted us to play along with this episode.
Yeah. This was based on the conversation that Molly and Andy had. If you were a luxe ingredient, what would you be? Because Andy said he would be caviar and Molly took champagne. So I'm interested in what you guys think you would be.
I was tempted to say caviar for myself because I like to describe myself as salty, but I don't want to just copy Andy. So even though Molly said that truffles were basic, I'm going to have to go with truffles because
I like truffles.
You know what? I am pretty basic sometimes. But also, I like the woods. I'm down to earth. And dogs love me. So I'm pretty much truffles.
Hey. I feel like I misunderstood the assignment and I thought it was like a luxe dish, not an ingredient.
You could say a dish.
So I picked creme brulee because I really love creme brulee. And like
Me too.
cracking it on top is like one of my favorite things to do. Yep, so that's mine. And it's French and kind of silly. I'm not French, but I am kind of silly.
I love that. That's
You love
good.
Amelie. It's perfect.
Yes, that is also a big part of it, is the Amelie. You can read my guest blog about it on The Cutaways, Justine's other podcast.
It's true.
What are you, Justine? What's your luxe ingredient, like alter ego?
I'll be an Impossible Burger.
Ooh.
She defies expectations.
Yeah, that. And it's like, why do you cost like $10 more than
Because I'm worth it.
Exactly. You're just like a little questioning, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I can see this. This is great. That's what people feel about me. No.
I decided to go with an oyster because I grew up by the sea. I'm a Pisces, so I basically marinated it in salt and brine. So that's what I probably taste like. Little fishy. I love the fact that you can have oysters with lots of different fun toppings because that really suits my personality. But also, I'm not like happy and a good time all the time. Sometimes I have off days where I'm not that good, and so that's like oysters. There's always a chance they're going to make you sick, so you just have to take your chance.
And there's a pearl inside.
Oh yeah,
is that oysters?
yeah. If you really look inside, yeah.
So it was Molly and Andy who sparked this conversation. I just loved their interaction in this video. They describe themselves as the siblings of the test kitchen, which definitely get that vibe from watching them. They're pretty funny.
Such a special relationship. I enjoyed it as well.
Okay, for our last video today, we're talking Pro Chefs Review Home Cooking Scenes from Movies and TV. Test Kitchen Talks. Like, how many times are they going to do this?
I enjoy it, but also I get that like this is very similar to the last one they did. It was just like those were professional kitchens and now it's home kitchens. But I don't know. I enjoy various media, so I like watching these. But how has Christina never seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone has to see Mrs. Doubtfire.
I did learn something actually in this episode, which I don't normally. Normally it's just like a fun, entertaining video of them watching stuff. But Gabby's teachable moment about what folding is. Like, it's like a little J. And I was like, I've never thought about it like that before, but it totally is. And I just thought that was really, really nice way of explaining it. So I was pleased like she got that in there.
That was really cute how they wanted to do teachable moments. They're like, do I have time? Can I show this? Can we see this?
The Schitt's Creek segment was my favorite with the folding because I just love Schitt's Creek.
I've
that was
never
such a good
watched
clip
it.
to use.
So,
it's really great.
yeah,
I
people
highly
say it's
recommend
good.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I should. I would like to point out a mistake in this video, talking about fact checking. So they talk about Bridget Jones, and they talk about the market being Spitalfields Market. It very much is not Spitalfields Market. It's Borough Market, which is south of the river, because that's close to where her flat is located. And if they'd used Spitalfields, that would have made no sense because it's a completely different part of town.
They do have a little pop-up that pops up and says what market it actually is. But it's...
No, it said Spitalfields.
It did say Spitalfields.
Oh, it did?
It's not
Okay, because I watched it this morning and it said something with a B, but it was so fast.
Brushfield Street. That's where Spitalfields is.
Gotcha.
I did see that in the comments, somebody correcting.
Good. I'm glad someone is representing. But yeah.
Chris, you're wrong.
What the pop-up should have said is, Chris, unfortunately, you are incorrect. The actual market is Borough.
Well, I thought it was funny how many people clearly had not seen that scene of Bridget Jones when she took out the twine, and they were like, oh, what's going to happen? And I'm like, it becomes blue, guys. Have you not seen this?
I think they were questioning whether that twine would have actually created that blue colour in real life. I'm not sure. I've never cooked with blue twine.
Movie magic.
Oh, movie magic.
Challenge thrown down.
It was funny how they were talking about there's like this weird generic like set direction for like slop that bubbles over, like that they're like nobody ever makes anything like that. Like, what is that supposed to be? I thought that was funny.
Goop in a pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they comment about like, oh, Mr. Bean has really nicely art directed home.
I love the Rowan Atkinson stuff. I enjoy him. And I loved how, of course, Priya was like, I love him! I love Johnny English! And everyone else is like, I don't know what this is.
It's funny because I think it's really funny that everyone internationally seems to know him mostly from Mr. Bean, which I think is his, like, the worst character he does, but it's obviously his most successful. I think he's much better in the old, like, 80s comedy stuff that he did over here, like Blackadder and Not the 9 O'Clock News. Like, if you're into Rowan Atkinson, I highly recommend checking that stuff out because it's far superior, in my opinion.
Yeah, co-signing Blackadder. I enjoyed this video a lot more than I thought I would because it's just them looking at a screen and talking. But it builds on what a lot of the other videos do, which is making us feel like we know these people. So it's really just kind of a joy when Carla says, oh, I love Schitt's Creek, or someone else says, oh, I love Bridget Jones's Diary. And all four of us have other podcasts that are pop culture podcasts. So we definitely enjoy watching people enjoy pop culture and talk about it.
Yeah.
Aww. Aww. That made me feel special. We do know them. They are like us.
They will be our friends.
Right, exactly. It's like now I have an in for what to talk to Carla about when I meet her someday, obviously.
I also don't trust people who don't like sauce on their chicken.
I'm not much for chicken with sauce anyway.
Oh, that's such a strange thing to say. I really don't understand.
Everyone lost it at that.
Yeah. Me included.
And I just have to say that Sola and Delaney combined, they're like almost too much charisma together. Oh, it's overwhelming.
I loved it.
Oh my god. And Sola being like, well, they didn't know the difference between brown people at this time, so it's probably mole.
Yeah, there were some good combinations of people in this this video. It was I liked them.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the bit with Delaney and Sola and her saying like, cooking, yeah, that's the only thing I've ever done with my family. And he's like, what? Like, I do all this stuff with my family. And she's just like, no.
Like talk and hug. Oh man, yeah. Everybody in the chat wants the Sola show.
Yeah, me
It
too.
needs to happen.
There's whispers that people are saying she's going to take over Gourmet Makes, but
You think?
who knows?
Claire would definitely want her to.
She definitely would. She pretty much said go ahead and take it in that 92Y video.
Wow.
Yeah, she did.
I
Oh,
haven't
I
watched that
haven't
yet.
seen
I need
that.
to watch that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, highly recommend that
Controversy.
video. It was quite an interesting conversation with everyone.
Well, now that we have our recap fill, let's talk about what our favorite videos were and what dishes we would make. Dun 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 dun. Meg, calling you out.
Oh, no. I wanted more time to decide.
I know, you didn't have a ready face at all. LJ, go. No.
It's hard. I think my favorite video was probably the caviar one, just because I loved the idea of eating all that much caviar. And I would definitely want to make that 7-layer dip, but there's no way I could ever afford to buy that much caviar. So I think the thing I would probably be most likely to make is the brick chicken. I think that was a really cool idea.
I'll go next. Give you more time, Meg. Surprisingly, I think this is the first time ever I've had a Molly as my favorite. I liked the caviar video, even though I also don't like seafood. I just thought it was a really fun video. And I think a lot of it had to do with all of the Molly and Andy stuff together. And then if I were going to make one of these, maybe the smash burger from the hamburger one. Just, I don't know. Like, obviously I don't want to make microwave cheeseburger or anything, but I would be intrigued to make a smash burger. Check it out.
Okay, I'm just going to copy LJ's homework.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Molly caviar video, too. I was honestly really close to choosing the home cooking scenes, test kitchen talks, but that's just so low effort of a video that I didn't feel right choosing it as first. So I'm going to go with the caviar, even though it makes me really envious. And the 30-minute brick chicken is definitely the recipe I'm most likely to make. It looks delicious. It looks easy. It's been forever since I've cooked a whole chicken. So those are my picks. What about you, Justine?
I am deviating from the pack. I'm actually picking Gourmet Makes this time for my fave. I liked it. I mean, but like I also like the caviar one. I also like It's Alive. They're all kind of like the same on par with me in like ability.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going with Gourmet Makes. As for what I would make, not gonna, but the Kadhi.
Oh, maybe you should. Can you wait? Is that vegan? I forgot to check.
It's got yogurt as its primary ingredient.
Yes, of course.
But there's vegan yogurt.
There is vegan yogurt. How it would translate, not sure, but could always
You wanted
try.
a second chance at making chonk, right?
Yeah.
I do really like the way that Priya like explained, like watching it, I was just like, that's where I messed up.
Oh, don't burn it.
Don't burn the chunk. I
You're not
see
supposed
now.
to burn it.
Thanks, Priya. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's shift over to shout outs. Okay, thank you to Margaret and Mrs. Casper for commenting on our Instagram stories. As we mentioned, LJ has been cooking up a storm, putting it all step by step in our Instagram stories so you can follow along with her and talk to us, and we'll talk right back. Speaking of those two, Margaret said, I've been listening to Pod Appétit on a loop. When are you guys moving to 2 pods a week?
When people pay
Never,
us.
Margaret, but we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, but oh man.
The thought of that really makes me want to crawl under a desk and rock.
It's a lot of anxiety.
Like, where is the time and the money? Yeah.
It's very hard to do a weekly show.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Casper has a demand. The internet demands more of Meg's mom.
Yes.
It's
I
true.
second that.
I shared that with my mom in person when I saw her recently, and she was quite flattered. And she said that that was a very smart listener.
Such a mom thing to say. Okay, thank you to Liz for letting Meg know how to freeze herbs.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Always want to learn more.
Jaslyn from Up and 10 Club listened in to let us know that when she was in America, she thought Butterfingers were the worst.
Thanks for the snack hate, Jaslyn.
Allyson from Art History for All tagged us on Instagram when she was making some beans. She said they were the mix between Carla's beans and an old recipe from Delaney, but she wanted us to know about it.
Ooh.
That sounds delicious.
Thank you to Heidi from Vibrant Visionaries, Mary, and Jaslyn for listening to my episode where I made Justinos.
Justino!
Yay, Justinos!
And lastly, Sunny from Book of Lies podcast said LJ's focaccia looked amazing.
It tasted amazing as well. I've still got some in the freezer, and I was a bit skeptical about how it might freeze, but it freezes well. I'm here to report.
Yeah. Nice.
LJ with the hot news.
So both focaccia and herbs will freeze.
Will it freeze?
That's a regular item on our podcast now. It's frozen.
It's frozen now. It's fine. Oh my god, you can get Mary in on
Yeah,
that
that could
too.
be my mom's segment.
Will it freeze? Mary, tell us.
Still waiting to find out if Meg ever got another cinnamon bun.
Oh, yeah. I froze those cinnamon buns. Huh?
Meg's like forgotten what she's frozen. Oh, wow.
I'll have to excavate them from the freezer.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody, for getting in touch with us on social media and sharing all of your thoughts on our episodes and all of the BA episodes that we post on Twitter and all of our Instagram stories. So keep on talking. We'll shout you out here. Speaking of, yet again, if you want to, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We would greatly appreciate it. You can deep dive into your thoughts about our show, and we will share it right here and shout you out because we love you very much.
That's a great English accent.
I like that accent change at the end.
Thank you for joining us this week. Next time on the podcast, Amanda is making granola cluster cookies.
That's me. I'm doing it.
Yeah!
Nom, 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 nom.
Thanks for listening to Pod Appétit, a Bon Appétit fan cast.
We'd love to hear from you, so find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest at pod_appetit.
And on Facebook at Pod Appétit Podcast.
You can also email us at podappetitpodcast@gmail.com and find all of our episodes on our website, podappetitpodcast.com.
Until next time, the test kitchen is closed.
Hello, friends. We are the Ladies of Strange. I'm Ashley.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Rebecca.
Have you ever wondered if Jenny's head really did fall off when they removed the green ribbon?
Or if aliens are hiding in the tails of comets waiting to take us away?
Or if there's any scientific basis to the Ouija board?
Well, then don't risk your search history and join us each Thursday as we discuss
The history, mystery, and theory.
Of all things questionable, odd, and eerie.
New episodes are released every Thursday. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. More information about the show, including show notes and links to our social media, can be found on our website, theladiesofstrange.com.
Keep it strange, lovelies.